devant sur leur ligne. Et encore un avantage en cours pour une position de hors-jeu de la défense rochelaise. C'est bien très joué. La passe en boudine où il n'y a plus personne. Pour le premier essai signé Jordan Larmour. Oh, Larmour.
Leinster vs La Rochelle has become one of the biggest domestic rivalries in Europe in the last few years, and we were treated to yet another bruising affair over the weekend. Today, we'll be looking at just how Leinster managed to edge out La Rochelle from a tactical perspective. For Leinster, it was not about getting in an attacking battle with La Rochelle, instead opting to play a more territorial game due to the dismal weather. Their goal was to force La Rochelle to make mistakes in their own half. When they were in or close to La Rochelle's 22, they then used the width of the field more instead of keeping it direct. They also had a focus on disrupting La Rochelle's lineout. La Rochelle, on the other hand, tried to keep it tight, both in set piece and open play. They put a big focus on trying to impose themselves physically in most aspects of the game, and they nearly succeeded in all of them. La Rochelle tried to put special emphasis on getting strong set pieces as platforms to grow into the game. Perhaps the most successful area for them was their defense in open play, which we'll look at later on. Given how bad the weather was on the day, it's no wonder that both teams tried to play the territory game. However, the area that gave Leinster many opportunities to grow into the game was their strong restarts. During my analysis, I counted at least 4 times where Leinster disrupted La Rochelle's exit. This gave them many opportunities to take back momentum, especially after La Rochelle scored. Leinster also wanted to disrupt La Rochelle's game plan at the source. The French scrum was too strong for them, so they instead targeted the lineout, where they were successful on multiple occasions. Leinster used a 1-3-3-1 attacking shape, which is different from their usual 1-3-2-2 attacking shape. However, they still used the width of the field when they were attacking, opting to give it to the widest attacker in their 2 central pods, who themselves were positioned wide as well. While this can be deadly, La Rochelle countered this with sheer physicality and ferocity in contact, and it wouldn't surprise me if Leinster's dominant carry stat was extremely low. This shut down Leinster's attack throughout the match, and if it wasn't for their superb kicking game, then it wouldn't surprise me if the match ultimately slipped away from them. During the attack, both teams tried to counter at the ruck and both were quite successful. I do feel that La Rochelle came off the better team here, as the scrappy ball at ruck time led to Leinster making many uncharacteristic errors, even more than one would expect in bad weather. La Rochelle's style of play is more suited towards this compact physical play, and it feels like their decision making was better at most instances. The last thing that I want to talk about is the kicking game, particularly in the last 20 minutes. While most people don't find this part particularly exciting, I found this to be one of the most beautiful and strategic kicking exchanges in a long while. I think both teams saw that winning this game with flair and all-out attack was not going to happen, as there were a lot of mistakes throughout the match. For Leinster, it was all about pushing La Rochelle back and keeping them at bay. Again, the chances that La Rochelle was going to launch an exceptional counter-attack that led to a try was extremely low, so their plan was pretty straightforward. For La Rochelle, it was more tricky. Their goal was likely to get a set piece, preferably a scrum, inside Leinster's 22. This would have given them the opportunity to launch a strike move in hopes of getting a try. They also looked for the chip kick over the top with a lot of pressure in hopes of creating magic out of nothing. This kicking duel was very even. While La Rochelle had the field position, they just couldn't break into Leinster's 22 to create a try-scoring opportunity, as their accuracy just wasn't good enough. Let's take this situation in the 72nd minute of the game. Jula takes a free kick by sending it deep to Frawley, waiting in the pocket. Frawley then puts up a midfield bomb before Hastoy collects. The winger for La Rochelle tracks back, meaning Leinster's pendulum has to adjust and leave only 2 players defending the backfield. Hastoy then puts in a magnificent kick in between Natai and Gibson Park, gaining loads of territory. Natai has to rush his kick and sends it deep into the hands of Jula instead of kicking it out. Jula then counters and regathers a chip and chase at Leinster's 10-meter line. This creates a lot of chaos in Leinster's backfield defense, leaving a perfect opportunity for Gerbalo to kick the ball out deep into Leinster's 22 at around this area. Unfortunately, he's not that accurate, and the kick is a few meters too short, allowing Gibson Park to regather and put in a good exit. This was the story for most of La Rochelle's time in this period. They did have small opportunities, but they weren't accurate enough because Leinster's management in this area was superb. Unfortunately, they just didn't have the momentum to get that final try that they needed. If you liked this video and would like to see more tactical analyses of rugby going forward, then please consider liking and subscribing. See you next time.